Chapter 13. Vampire and I ran up the stairs looking for Dumbledore. We were so scared. Dumbledore, Dumbledore, we both yelped. Dumbledore came there. What is it that you want now, you despicable snobs? He asked angrily. Voldemort has Draco, we shouted at the same time. He laughed in an evil voice. No, don't. We need to save Draco, we begged. No, he said meanly. I don't give a darn what Voldemort does to Draco, not after how much he misbehaved in the school, especially with you, Ebony, he said while he frowned, looking at me. Besides, I never liked him that much anyway. Then he walked away. Vampire started crying. My Draco, he moaned. It's okay, I tried to tell him, but that didn't stop him. He started to cry tears of blood. Then he had a brainstorm. I had an idea, he exclaimed. What? I asked him. You'll see, he said. He took out his wand and did a spell. Then, suddenly, we were in Voldemort's lair. We ran in with our wands out just as we heard a croon voice say, Allah Kadabra. It was Voldemort. Chapter 14. Warning, some of these chapter is extremely scary. Viewer excretion advised. We ran to where Voldemort was. It turned out that Voldemort wasn't there. Instead, the fat guy who killed Cedric was. Draco was there, crying tears of blood. Snaketail was torturing him. Vampire and I ran in front of Snaketail. Rid my sight, you despicable preps, he shouted as we started shooting him with the gun. He looked at me and he fell down with a lovey-dovey look in his eyes. Ebony, I love you, will you have sex with me? He said. Huh? I asked. Ebony, I love you, will you have sex with me? Asked Snaketail. I started laughing crudely. What the fuck? You torture my BF and then you expect me to fuck you. God, you are so fucked up, you fucking bastard, I said angrily. Then I stabbed him in the heart. Blood poured out like a fountain. No, he screamed. He started screaming and running around. Then he fell down and died. I burst into tears sadly. Snaketail, what art thou doing? Called Voldemort. Then he started coming. We could hear his high heels clanking to us, so we got on our broomsticks and we flew to Hogwarts. We went to my room. Vampire went away. There I started crying. What's wrong, honey? Asked Draco, taking off his clothes so we could screw. He had a sex-pack, huge, you-know-what, and everything. It's so unfair, I yielded. Why can't I just be ugly or plain like all the other girls and preps here except for Bloody Mary? Because she's not ugly or anything. Why would you wanna be ugly? I don't like the preps anyways. They are such fucking sluts, answered Draco. Yeah, but everyone is in love with me, like Snape, and Lupin took a video of me naked. Hagrid says he's in love with me, Vampire likes me, and now even Snaketail is in love with me. I just wanna be with you, okay, Draco? Why couldn't Satan have made me less beautiful? I shouted angrily. I'm good at too many things. Why can't I just be normal? It's a fucking curse, I shouted, and then I ran away. Chapter 15. Ebony, Ebony, shouted Draco sadly. No, please, come back. But I was too mad. Whatever. Now you can go and have sex with Vampire, I shouted. I stormed into my room and closed my black door with my blood-red key. It had a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. He looked so sexy in a way that reminded me of Draco and Vampire. I started to cry and weep. I took a razor and started to slit my wrists. I drank the blood all depressed. Then I looked at my GC watch and noticed it was time to go to biology class. I put on a short black ripped gothic dress that said Anarchy on the front in blood red letters and was all ripped, and a spiky belt. Under that I put on ripped black fishnets and boots that said Joel all over them with blood red letters. I put my ebony black hair out. Anyway, I went downstairs feeling all sad and depressed as usual. I did some advanced biology work. I was turning a bloody pentagram into a black guitar. Suddenly, the guitar turned to Draco. "Ebony, I love you," he shouted sadly. "I do not care what those fucker preps and posers think. You are the most beautiful girl in the world. Before I met you, I used to want to commit suicide all the time. Now I just wanna fucking be with you. I fucking love you." Then he started to sing the Chronicles of Life and Death. We considered it to be our song now, cause we fell in love when Joel was singing it, right in front of the entire class. His singing voice was so amazing and gothic and sexy, like a cross between Gerard, Joel, Chester, Piera, and Marilyn Manson. "OMFG," I said after he was finished. Some fucking prep stared at us, but I just stuck my middle fingers up at them. "I love you," I said, and then we started to kiss just like Hilary Duff in a Cinderella story. Then we went away holding hands. Lupin shouted at us, but he stopped cause everyone was clapping by how sexy we looked together. Then I saw a poster saying that MCR would have a concert in Hogsmeade right then. We looked at each other, all shocked, and then we went together. Chapter 16. We ran happily to Hogsmeade. There we saw the stage where CG had played. We ran in happily. MCR were there playing Helena. I was so fucking happy. Jared looked even sexier than he did in the pictures. Even Draco thought so. I could totally see him getting an erection, but it didn't matter because I knew that we were the only true ones for each other. I was wearing a black leather mini dress and black platinum boots with red ribbed fishnets. Draco was wearing a black baggy MCR t-shirt and black baggy pants. Anyways, we started mushing to Helena. We Frenched. We ran up to the front of the band to stage dive. Suddenly, Gerard pulled off his mask. So did the others. We gasped. It wasn't them at all. It was Voldemort and the Death Dealers. "WTF, Draco, I'm not going to a concert with you," I shouted angrily. "Not after what happened to me last time. Even if it's MCR and you know how much I leak them." "What? Cause we, he get it uncomfortably. Cause guys don't like to talk about what." "Yeah, cause we, I yielded in an angry voice. "We won't do that again," Draco promised. "This time we are going with an escort." "OMFG, WTF are you giving into the mainstream?" I asked. "So I guess you're a prep or a Christian or what now?" "No," he muttered loudly. "Are you becoming a prep or what?" I shouted angrily. "Ebony, I'm not. Please come with me." He fell down to his knees and started singing "The World is Black" by GC to me. I was flattered cause that's not even a single. He had memorized the lyrics just for me. "Okay, then I guess I will have to," I said, and then we Frenched for a while and we went up to my room. Bloody Mary was standing there. "Hashishi-machi, ghoul," she said happily. "By the way, Willow, that fucking poser got expelled. She failed all her classes and she skipped math." "It serves that fucking besh right," I laughed angrily. Well, anyway, we were feeling all depressed. We watched just some gothic movie like Das Nightmare Before Xmas. "Maybe Willow will die too," I said. Kawaii Bloody Mare shook her head energetically, lethargically. "Oh yeah, have a confession. After she got expelled, I murdered her, and then Lupin did it with her, 'cause he's a Nephilac." "Kawaii," I commented happily. We talked to each other in silence for the rest of the movie. "Oh hey, BTW, I am going to a concert with Draco tonight in Hogsmeade with MCR," I said. "I need to wear like the hottest outfit ever." Bloody Mary nodded energetically. "OMFG, totally, let's go shopping." "In Hot Topic, right?" I asked, already getting out my special Hot Topic loyalty card. "No," my head snapped up. "What?" My head spun. I could not believe it. "Bloody Mary, are you a prep?" No, she laughed. I found some cool gothic store near Hogswoods, that's all. Who told you about them? I asked, sure it would be Draco or Diablo or vampire. Don't even say that name to me or me. Dumbledore, she said. Let me just call our brooms. OMFFG Dumbledore, I asked quietly. Yeah, I saw the map for Hogsmeade on his desk, she told me. Come on, let's go. We were going in a few punk goth stores, specially for the concert in Hogsmeade. The salesperson was OMG hotter than Jared, except not cause that's impossible, and he gave me a few dresses. We only have these for the real goths. The real goths, me and Bloody Mary asked. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many poses there are in this town, man. Yesterday Lupin and Snape tried to buy gothic camera pouch. He shook his head. I didn't even know they had a camera. OMFG, no, they're gonna spy on me again, I cried, running out of the changing room wearing a long black dress with dots of red tulle coming out and very low cut with a huge slit. Oh my Satan, you have to buy that outfit, the salesperson said. Yeah, it looks totally hot, said Bloody Mary. You know what, I'm gonna give it to you for free, 'cause you look really hot in that outfit. Hey, are you gonna be at the concert tonight? He asked. Yeah, I am actually. I looked back at him. Hey, BTW, my name's Ebony, Darkness, Dementia, Terra, Way. What's yours? Tom Ridd, he said, and ran a hand through his black dyed hair. Maybe I'll see you tonight. Yeah, I don't think so, 'cause I'm going with my BF Draco, you sick perv, I yelled angrily. But before he could beg me to go with him, Hagrid flew in on his black broom looking worried. OMFG, Ebony, you need to get back into the castle now. Chapter 17. Tom Riddle gave us some clothes and stuff for free. He said he would help us with makeup if he wanted, 'cause he was really into fashion and stuff. He's bisexual. Hagrid kept shooting at us to come back to Hogwarts. WTF, Hagrid, I shouted angrily. Fuck off, you fucking bastard. Well, anyway, Willow came. Hagrid went away angrily. Hey, bitch, you look kawaii, she said. Yeah, but not as kawaii as you, I answered sadly, 'cause Willow's really pretty and everything. She was wearing a short black corset thingy with blood-red lace on it, and black blood-red miniskirt, leather fishnets, and black pointy boots that showed off how pale she was. She had really nice body with big bobs and everything. She was thin enough to be anorexic. So are you going to that concert with Draco, she asked. Yeah, I said happily. I'm going with Diablo, she answered happily. Well, anyway, Draco and Diablo came. They were both looking extremely hot and sexy, and you could tell that they thought we were at too. Diablo was wearing a black t-shirt that said 666 on it. He was wearing tons of makeup, just like Marilyn Manson. Draco was wearing black leather pants, a gothic GC t-shirt, and black Vans he got from the Warp Tower. Bloody Mart was going to that concert with Dracola. Dracola used to be called Neville, but it turned out that he was kidnapped at birth and his real family were vampires. They died in a car crash. Neville converted to Satanism and he went goth. He was in Slytherin now. He was wearing black warped t-shirt, black jeans and shoe, and black hair with red streaks in it. We call him Dracula now. Well, anyway, we all went to Draco's black Mercedes-Benz that his dad Lucian gave to him. We did pot, coke, and crack. Draco and I made out. We made fun of those stupid fucking preps. We soon got there. I gasped. Jared was the sexiest guy ever. He looked even sexier than he did in pics. He had long raven black hair and piercing blue eyes. He was really skinny and he had an amazing ethnic voice. We marched to Helena and some other songs. Suddenly Jared pulled off his mask, so did the other members. I gasped. It wasn't Jared at all. It was an ugly, preppy man with no nose and red eyes. Everyone ran, but me and Draco. Draco and I came. It was Voldemort and the Death Dealers. "You moronic idiots," he shouted angrily. "Ebony, I told you to kill vampire. Thou have failed. And now I shall kill thou and Draco." "No, no, please," we begged sadly, but he took out his knife. Suddenly, a gothic old man flew in on his broomstick. He had long black hair and a long black beard. He was wearing a black robe that said Avril Lavigne on the back. He shouted a spell and Voldemort ran away. It was Dumbledore. Chapter 18. I woke up the next day in my coffin. I walked out of it and put on some black eyeliner, black eyeshadow, blood-bed lipstick, and a black really low-cut leather dress that was all ripped and in strips so you could see my belly. I was wearing a skull belly ring with black and red diamonds inside it. The night before, Draco and I ran back to the skull. Dumbledore chased Voldemort away. We flew there on our brooms. Mine was black and the broom stuff was blood red. There was lace all over it. Draco had a black MCR broom. We went back to our rooms and we had you-know-what to a Linkin Park song. Well, anyway, I went down to the Great Hall. There, all the walls were painted black and the tables were black too, but you foul see that there were pink pant underneath the black pant, and there were posters of poser bands everywhere, like Ashley Simpson's and the Backstreet Boys. "WTF," I shouted, going to sit next to Bloody Mary and Willow. Bloody Mary was wearing a black leather mini with a Good Charlotte t-shirt, black fishnets, and black pointy boots. Willow was wearing a long gothic black dress with blood-red writing that was all lacy and came up to your thighs, and black boots and fishnets. Vampire, Dracula, and Draco came. We started to talk about who was sexier, Mikey or Jared or Billy Joel Armstrongs. The boys joined in 'cause they were bi. "Those guys are so fucking hot," Neville was saying as suddenly a gothic old man with black beard and everything came. He was the same one who had chased away Voldemort yesterday. He had normal tan skin, but he was wearing white foundation, and he had dyed his hair black. "Dumbledore," we all gasped. "WTF," I shouted angrily. I thought he was just wearing all that to scare Voldemort. "Hello, everyone," he said happily. "As you can see, I gave the room a makeover. What do you think about it?" Everyone from the poser table in Gryffindor started to cheer. Well, we Goth just looked at each other, all disgusted, and shook our heads. We couldn't believe what a poser he was, one. "By the way, you can call me Albert," he called as we left to our classes. "What a fucking poser," Draco shouted angrily as we to transformation. We were holding hands. Vampire looked really jealous. I could see him crying blood in a gothic way, but I didn't say anything. "I bet he was having a midlife crisis," Willow shouted. I was so fucking angry. Chapter 19. I'm not okay, I promise. All day we sat angrily thinking about Dumbledore. We were so fucking pissed off. Well, I had one thing to look forward to. The MCR concert. It had been postponed, so we could all go. Anyway, I went to the common room sadly to cut classes. Draco was being all secretive. I asked what it was and he got all mad and started to crying all hot and angrily. "No one fucking understands me, one," he shouted angrily as his black hair went in his big blue eyes like Billy Joel in Boulevard of Broken Dreams. He was wearing black baggy pants, a black MCR t-shirt, and a black dye. I was wearing a black leather low-cut top with chains all over it, a black leather mini, black high-held boots, and a cross belly thing. My hair was all up in a messy, really high bun like Amy Lee in Gone Under. Accuse me? What about me? I growled. But, he grunted. You fucking bastard, I moaned. No, wait, it's not what it fucking looks like, he shouted, but it was too late. I knew what I had heard. I ran to the bathroom angrily. Cringe. Draco banged on the door. I whipped and wept as my bloody eyeliner streaked down my cheeks and made cool tears down my face like Benji in the video for girls and boys. I took out a cigarette and started to smoke pot. Suddenly Hagrid came. He had appariated. You gave me a fucking shock, I shouted angrily and dropped my pot. WTF do you think you are doing in the ghoul's room? Only it wasn't just Hagrid. Someone else was with him too. For a second I wanted it to be Tom Ridd or maybe Draco, but it was Dumbledore. Hey, I ask you a question, he said, pulling out his black wannabe gothic purse. What are you wearing to the concert? You know who MCR are, I gasped. No, I just saw there was a concert that a lot of goths and punks were going to, he said. Anyway, Draco has a surprise for you. Chapter 20. All day I wondered what the surprise was. Meanwhile, I put on a black leather mini, a black corset with herbal lace all over it, a black gothic compact boots. MCR were going to do the concert again, since Voldemort had taken over the last one. I slit my wrist while I mussed to MCR in my bedroom all night, feeling excited. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door while I was trying on some black clothes and mushing to thank you for the venom. I got all mad and turned it off, but secretly I hoped inside that it was Draco so we could do it again. What the fucking hell are you doing here? I shouted angrily. It was looping. Are you gonna come rape me or what? I yelled. I was allowed to say that because Dumbledore had told us all to be careful around him and Snape since he was a pedo. No, actually, can I please borrow some condoms? He growled angrily. Yeah, so you can fuck your 6-year-old girlfriend, huh? I shouted sarcastically. Fuck her, he said, going away. Well, anyway, I put on some black eyeshadow, black eyeliner, and some black lipstick and white foundation. Then I gasped. Snake and Lupin were in the middle of the empty hall doing it, and Dobby was watching one. Oh my god, you ludicrous idiot, they both shouted angrily when they saw me. Dobby ran away crying. They got up though. Normally I would have been turned on, but both of them were fucking preps. WTF, is that why you wanted condoms? I asked sadistically. Only you wouldn't give them to me, Lupin shouted angrily. Well, you should have told me, I replied. You dimwit. Snake began to shoot angrily, and then I took out my black camera and took a pic of them. You could see that they were naked and everything. Well, excuse me, they both shouted angrily. What was that all about? It was to blackmail you, I snarked. So now, next time you see me doing it with my boyfriend, you can't fucking rat me out or I'll show Dumbledore. So fuck off, you bastard. I started to run. They chased me, but I threw my wound at them and they tripped over it. Well, anyway, I went outside and there was Vampire, looking extremely fucking hot. WTF, where'd Draco? I asked him. Oh, he's being a fucking bastard. He told me he wouldn't come. Vampire said, shaking his head. You wanna come with me to the concert? Then he showed me his flying car. I gasped. It was black. He said his dog father, Sirius Black, had given it to him. The license plate on the front said MCR 666 on it, and the one on the back said Ebony on it. I gasped. We flew to the concert hall. MCR were there, playing. Vampire and I began to make out, mushing to the music. I gasped, looking at the band. I almost had an orgasm. Garrett was so fucking hot. He began to sing Helena, and his sexy, beautiful voice began to fill the hall. And then I heard some crying. I turned and saw Draco crying in a corner. Chapter 21. Later we all went in the skull. Draco was crying in the common room. "Draco, are you okay?" I asked in a gothic voice. "No, I'm not, you fucking bitch," he shouted angrily. He started to run out of the place in a suicidal way. I started to cry 'cause I was afraid he would commit suicide. "It's okay, Enbony," said Vampire comfortably. "I'll make him feel better." "You mean you'll go fuck him, won't you?" I shouted angrily. Then I ran to get Draco. Vampire came too. "Draco, please come." He began to cry, tears of blood down his pale face. I was so turned on 'cause I love sensitive bi guys. And then we heard some footsteps. Vampire got out of his black invisibility cloak. We both got under it. We saw the janitor, Mr. Norris, there, shouting angrily with a flashlight in his hands. "Who's there?" he shouted angrily. We saw Philith come. He went under the invisibility cloak and started to meow loudly. "Is anyone there?" yelled Mr. Norris. "No. Fuck you, preppy little poser son of a fucking bitch," Vampire said under his breath in a disgusted way. Excuse me. Who said that?" yelled Mr. Norris. Then he heard Flish meow. "Philith, is anyone under the cloak?" he asked. Philith nodded, and then Vampire Frenched me. He did it just as Mr. Norris was taking off the cloak one. "What the?" he yelled, but it was too late, 'cause now we were running away from him. And then we saw Draco crying and bursting into tears and slitting his wrists outside of the school. "Draco," I cried, "are you okay?" "I guess though," Draco wept. We went back to our coffins, Frenching each other. Draco and I decided to watch Lake Placid on the gothic red bed together. As I was about to put the video, my eyes rolled up and suddenly I had a vision of something that was happening now. There was a knock on the front door, and Fook and the Ministry of Magic walked into the school one. Chapter 22. All day everyone talked about the misery of magic. Well, anyway, I woke up the next day. I was in my coffee, so I opened the door. I was wearing black lacy leather pajamas. Then I gasped. Standing in front of me were Bloody Mary, Vampire, Diablo, Draco, Dracula, and Willow. I opened my crimson eyes. Willow was wearing a tight black leather top with pictures of bloody roses all over it. Under that, she wore a black poofy skirt with lace on it and black gothic boots that were attached to the top. Vampire was wearing a baggy Simple Plan t-shirt and baggy black pants and Vans. Draco was wearing a black MCR t-shirt and black jeans and a leather jacket. He looked just like Jared Way and almost as fucking sexy. Vampire looked like Joel Madden. Bloody Mary was wearing a tight black poofy gothic dress that she had ripped so it showed off all of her cleavage, and a white apron that said bish and other swear words, and MCR lyrics on it, kinda like one dress I had seen Amy Lee wear once. Darkness, who is Jenny, was there too. She was weaving a ripped gothic black dress with ripped stuff all over it and laced up top thing and black pointy boots. So were Crab and Goyle. It turns out that Darkness, Diablo, Crab, and Goyle's dad was a vampire. He committed suicide by slitting his wrist with a razor. He had raped them and stuff before too. They all got so depressed that they became gothic and converted to Satanism. OMFG, I yielded as I jumped up. "Why the fuck are you all here?" "Enbony, something is really fucked up," Draco said. "Okay, but I need to put on my fucking clothes on first," I shouted angrily. "It's all right, we have to go now, and you look kawaii anyway. You are so fucking beautiful," Draco said in a sexy voice. "Oh, all right," I said smiling. "But you have to tell me why you're all being erective." I will, he said. So I just put on some black eyeliner, black lipstick, and red eyeshadow and white foundation. Then I came. We all went outside the great hall and looked in from a window. A frocking prep called Brittany from Gryffindor was standing next to us. She was wearing a pink mini and a Hilary Duff t-shirt, so we put up our middle fingers at her. Inside the great hall, we could see Dumbledore. Cornelia Fudge was shouting at Dumbledore. Doris Rumbridge was there too. "This cannot be," she shouted angrily. "The school must be closed." "The Bark Lord is planning to kill all the students," yelled Cornelia Fudge. "You are not fit to be the principal any longer," yelled Rumbridge. "You are too old and your Alzheimer's is dangerous. You must retry or Voldemort will kill all your students." "Very well," Dumbledore said angrily, "but we cannot do this. We can't close the school. There's only one person who is capable of killing Voldemort, and she is in the school, and her name is Enemy, Darkness, Dementia, Raven, Way. Draco, Crab, Goyle, Darkness, Willow, Vampire, and Bloody Mary looked at each other. I gasped.